I am super late. I had to come on here live. Well, which I thought I was doing the class at 7, but it's supposed to be a private class. So let's see. I joined and didn't nobody show up. But 2 people I seen. So let's see where y'all at. And if y'all ready for this. Uh, Hello. Hey y'all. Hi. Hey Tiffany. How y'all doing? Hey Wanda. So this was supposed to be a private session, but I don't know if people remembered. Hello. Hello, finally able to join in on a live watching from Canada. Well, welcome. I haven't seen one of your videos in forever. I know I haven't been on YouTube like that, like how I used to be, but I'm coming back. I'm on a tour, and I'm just about at the end of my tour, my Candy Apple class tour, hands on. So, hey, I'm doing well. Hey, Miss Manning, was you in? Was you in when I went on the private part? Can you still purchase? Yeah, you are missed on here. I can imagine the people that has come out to the hands-on class has just been amazing. And y'all, I'm tired. I just got in from Atlanta about this was after 1 o'clock a.m. So I flew into Atlanta at on Friday and got prepping for because I had a cinnamon roll class, a hands-on cinnamon roll class, and the class was yesterday. Then after class, we had dinner with some of my close students, and I flew out that night. So, am I coming up to Richmond, Virginia? I've been to Richmond. I was in Richmond last month, actually. Yep, did Richmond, Virginia already. Yep, I had did Richmond, then I went to Baltimore. Baltimore was the last one, and I'm headed to New York this week. My classes, I've been traveling. I'm on a tour. So from I've been traveling since January. My classes went up on sale during Black Friday. So I decided to do my last candy apple tour. That don't mean I'm gonna stop teaching candy apples, but to just travel and do that extensive tour. Um, this is my last year doing it. Work on getting me to Dallas. I've been to Dallas. I just ain't put it in the schedule this year. What about Chicago? I didn't do Chicago. I go where places where um the most will sign up, you know, and I always get a big turnout in the states that I posted. So I've already been to I've been to Detroit, Michigan. I did Detroit, Michigan. I did Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio. I did Houston, Texas. Orlando, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, um, Tempestville, South Carolina, and Raleigh, North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, Baltimore, Maryland, and I think I'm forgetting one. But I've this since January. So yeah, and it's all been posted on my Facebook page. I didn't post like on my YouTube channel or anything like that. Because when I put it out on, so first of all, if you're not following me on Facebook, make sure you follow me on Facebook, Your Sweet Connection. Your Sweet Connection on Facebook. It's my business page. You see a lot of me posting over there. So, oh, and then I'm going to Louisiana, but I am going back to Baltimore and where else I said I was going back? Oh, Alabama. So that's in September. There's people that inquired about Baltimore. Baltimore is filling up, but we sent the registration. Some people just ain't paid yet. So it's first come, first serve. So I'm going back to Baltimore in October, and I'm going to Alabama in October. Alabama is October 10th, and Baltimore is October 24th, I believe. But yeah. Oh, thanks, Linda. Yeah, Birmingham, Alabama, and Baltimore. Linda, I thought I was coming on at 7. Didn't realize it was supposed to be at 5 o'clock. So I had to go live. I couldn't. When I went private, it was only 2 people and wasn't nobody saying anything. So I know more people had got the message. So I'm gonna do this live. So and I'm just gonna cover over a few things. Um so what it was, I came on here live a couple of weeks ago talking about pricing. All right. So I wrote a book about pricing. A lot of you have always asked me about pricing. I don't like to talk about pricing over social media because I believe that, first of all, I know that it's more than just telling people, oh yeah, price this, price that. Oh yeah, you should price this. Or I don't believe in giving people information as like telling you what you need to price your products because I don't know, first of all, I don't know the quality of your work. I don't know your market. This is something that you have to study. This is something that you have to do on your own, learn your numbers, um, and learn your business. Know what your business is capable of doing, know what you want to do in your business, how you want to move in your business so you'll be able to make profit, make money for your business, make a profit, pay yourself, and pay your taxes and whatever events you do and all of that stuff because all of that stuff matters. A lot of people think it don't matter, but it do. So when people ask me, I'm having trouble with pricing, can you help me? Okay, are you ready for the help? Some people don't want to go into it like, oh, it got to be a better way. No, if you in business, you got to sit down and do the paperwork. You got to sit down now, unless you paying somebody else to do it. But as a small business, I believe and I teach that you should know the front end, the back end, the whole dynamic of your business. Because if those people drop off, then you're left unknowing, like, well, I don't know actually what they were doing because I had them doing it. And so now I'm stuck with trying to figure it out. No, You start a business, you should know the whole dynamic of your business, the ins and outs, the numbers, because you are the whole production at the end of the day. You started this, you should know it. You wanted to get into it, so therefore know the backhand of your business. Okay. Let me see. So I'm gonna start Q and A. Oh my goodness! It said, "What's your favorite piece of furniture?" I didn't. Man, how you take this thing off? Lord Jesus, I don't want to know nobody's favorite piece of furniture. Yeah, don't know. Don't. No. Oh well. All right. So let's start this Q and A. I was gonna put it up, but yeah, I hit the button without putting in the question. So no, I don't want to know nobody's piece of furniture. What what type of furniture you like? No. All right. So what I'm going to be going over is my book. So if you haven't had the opportunity to get my um cinnamon roll business guide book, the cover have since changed because I am updating every sheet and up putting more in the book. So this book was designed for business, but I centered it around cinnamon rolls so you can have a clear idea of how to do this and how the numbers look when it comes to um, pricing. All right. So the biggest question that everybody talks about, all right, is how do I price my product? How do I grow in my business? It's a lot of questions, but what is your main struggle in your business when it comes to pricing? And for those that want to purchase this book, I've had everybody, for those that wanted to purchase this book, you got to visit it's not on my website because it's not physically published, but it's downloadable. You can downloadable, and right now it's 112 sheets. So just be prepared. Okay, trust me, you will not be disappointed. Everything that's in this book, okay, this is my manuscript. This is my everything that's in this book that you may have a question about is in here. And I'm just gonna go over a little bit with you all so you can understand. And yeah, my cinnamon roll recipes is in here. So how do you purchase? Go to my Facebook page because it's not on my website yet. This is like for those that are interested, this is like exclusive. It is it's not it's special because it's a lot. I done gave out a lot of information in this book. But you go to my Facebook page, message, send us a private message and inquire that you want to purchase the book. We'll send you the information to make your payment. And then once the payment is confirmed, then we'll send you the link to the book. All right? All right. Stop it, Linda. You already know. Wait, you said it was just at 91. I know. I had to pause because I had to go to Atlanta. My business page is Your Sweet Connection. Your Sweet Connection on Facebook. Linda, can you write that so I can pin it? Let me see. Can I put it on here? Hold on. Oh, it's not gonna put. It's just gonna put product up there. Linda, just write it out and then I'ma pin it. Thank you. So I just pinned Linda. If you see Linda Bosek 78, that is my assistant. She handles a lot of stuff on my business page. So when you reach out, that's who's going to be responding to you. So it's pinned at the bottom. So it's my Facebook page and it is Your Sweet Connection. Send us a private message. Don't go under the comments and say, well, I put a message in the comments. No, you got to send it to us privately and we'll send you the link. All right. Remember, this is not published, but you can download the book. All right. So, hold on. And say, I definitely have to repurchase. Repurchase? You bought this already? Because anybody that buys the book, get the book. I need all the information. Okay. My question is, where do you start? I want to make sure I price for my products in time. Right now, I'm doing your I think you didn't complete your message. So what do you mean where do you start? Where do you start in pricing? Yes, ma'am, for the cinnamon roll class. So you don't need to repurchase. Just open up the link. You will see the updated pages. If you got the link to the book already, you will see the new pages. That's the thing about it. Those that purchase, you will see the updated pages. All you got to do is go in and go back through. You will see the whole cover has changed. You just got to click on the link and go back in. And I can tell who's in and who isn't. Matter of fact, I'm going to open it up right now on my computer. Let me see if some folks in there. Nope, nobody's in there yet. But yeah, it's 112 pages. And I'm going to flip this so you can see what I see. That's me. See the new cover? That's the new cover. You got recipes. Everything. Pricing. This is where we get to the good part. Okay? Let's talk about pricing. Understanding your numbers. See how I break it down, calculating your ingredient costs, how to price your cinnamon rolls. Remember, this is based off of I centered it around cinnamon rolls. So if you do cupcakes, if you do apples, if you somebody in the book right now, see how I can tell? Somebody's in there. Uh-huh. Okay. So like I said, you can base this off of apples, whatever. This is your blueprint to pricing. So, in the book, I talk about how you price your cinnamon rolls for profit. It can be apples. It can be okay, Stacy. That was you, Stacy. Stacy said, "Okay, I see the update pages now. See, I done made it easy for you. Just yeah." Um. So, Stacy, how you like it? Do you like the book? So here is And Stacy, if you on while you on, you can see, I'm gonna go through some of this, but um I'm breaking down examples to where starting with here, how to calculate your ingredients. So is it Shavana? Mini cakes in the small small tins. Okay, cool. Starting there. So your question was, where do you start? You start with your ingredients. Start with your ingredient costs. That is very important because when you go to do your um let me see, did I go? Yeah. When it comes to calculating the cost to come up with your price, you must include your ingredient costs, your packaging costs, your labor costs, and how you pay yourself. Now, there's others to include, far as your taxes and stuff like that, but you should have a system that generates that. What I'm gonna go over is getting it started, how to include this this cost to come up with your price. And you want to start with your ingredients, and you go based off of how um how many you go based off the recipe and the ingredients that you need for that particular recipe. So here it is: cinnamon rolls. We need flour, butter, eggs, milk, sugar, brown sugar, cinnamon, cream cheese. This is just something I started off with. And then you got to go by the size purchase. So if you purchase a 10 pounds bag and it was priced at $4.50, all right? So when you do your ingredient costs, you have to write down all of this information when doing your pricing. You don't have to do this for every time you sell an item. It's when you're calculating to get your price. Y'all following me? Let me know. Talk back to me if you're following me. Said the example really helped because I was stuck on pricing. I was looking. Okay. All right. Okay. So how many of you have done this for coming up with your price? Some of you probably ain't even had a clue to do this, but this matters. Shanita said, I can't wait to purchase. Oh yeah, it's very much needed. Shavana said, I sure didn't. Okay. I love to hear people to say they didn't, because you finna open up a whole new world and you're gonna have a better outlook. So I'm praying that you have a better outlook on how this works. I'm gonna let y'all know right now, it may seem like a lot, and I'm not gonna lie to you and say it's not, because a lot of people are not used to this. A lot of people want to just get a price or copy a price that somebody else is charging, figuring that it's going to work out for you. But everybody has a different market. Everybody have different lives. You see what I'm saying? Everybody have um different ingredients. Everybody shop differently. You know, you may not be paying $4.50 for a 10-pound bag of sugar. Okay. You may not be paying $4 for 4 sticks of butter. So that's why the ingredient cost matters. Maddie says, I implemented, but I feel like I'm not doing it correctly because I feel it's not enough still. So in order for me to know that, I need to know what it is that you're trying to price. Um, Tina said, you're so right. Absolutely no clue. All right. So you got to start with your ingredient cost. So when you do that and you go according to the recipe. So Shavana said she has mini cakes in a tin. So what you're going to do, Shavana, is, for example, I'm going to use you for example, whatever the cake recipe is, you need to list out the ingredients that makes up that cake, the size of the bag, you know what I'm saying? All you need to do is like write down how much flour did you use, write down the ingredients, write down the size of the bag, and then how much you paid for those ingredients. Then you're going to start to calculate the cost. All right? That's the ingredient cost breakdown. So you don't use the whole bag when it comes to coming up with your price. You need to break down how much. So that recipe for your cake to go in your tin, and we're going to go based off of the cinnamon rolls. So, how many cups of flour? All right? So for my cinnamon roll recipe, it requires 4 cups of flour. So the amount used is what you need to break down. Not the amount of the bag, not the amount of what the bag costs. Okay? You just need to write down the cost. And from there, you need to calculate from the ingredients. So, of the recipe. Y'all follow me? I don't want to jump too fast so it won't sound confusing. Somebody said, Ro, you put some more information in here. Yes, I did. Okay, Shavana said that makes sense. Let's say I'm renting a booth at a craft show that comes with venue fees. Do you increase the price? Well, girl, I'm glad you said that. That's in the book too, honey. Let's go down to vendors. Y'all got to get the book. Oh, hold on. That's the extra pages that I had put in here, Stacy. Marketing and sales, pre-orders, uh, where to sell. Where to sell. So I'll talk about market. I talk about vendors, farmers market. Um, it's in here. Complete event is in here. Event branding, and I talk about the cost. Oh, and I got to finish. This is what I got to finish. Okay. So I'm gonna go back up. That's what I got to finish. So, I told you everything is in here that you may have a question about, but it's broke down. It's beginner friendly. So let's go back to here. Um, all right. So, hold on. Let me put this on my book so it won't keep bouncing around. All right. So she said, what about your booth and fees and stuff like that? Well, that is part of a cost that you have to take out of, like, if you're still going to sell according to your menu, right? Now, where the vendor fees come from, if you want to include it, you can include it. But that's part of this portion. But let me mention this before I jump into her question. When it comes to breaking down the cost, you break down according to the recipe. 4 cups is in my recipe. And you're going to take the 4 cups, you're going to divide it, and you're going to come up with an estimated cost, which is 175. You're going to do that with all the ingredients according to the recipe. A half cup of granulated sugar, is estimated to be 65 cents. You do this all the way down with the rest of them, which comes up with a cost. Remember, this is an example, y'all, okay? So it's my ingredient cost is $12, right? Then I include my packaging, the cinnamon roll box, the branded sticker, the thank you cards. All of that you do the same way as your ingredient cost. You get the number, however much you pay for the cinnamon roll box, you divide it to according to how many is in that package. It can be 34, 35, 25, whatever it is, but you divide it and then you come up with $1.50. Say it was $1.50, right? Same with the stickers, 50 cents. So you total that. So my packaging cost is $4. Then my labor cost. My labor cost is the time that I spend on making this item. Okay? That's your labor cost. And what it takes to make one batch, which is 12 rolls, 12, 15, whatever rolls, but I got 12 in here as an example. Let's say it took 2 hours. Now your labor cost is what you're going to pay yourself. You can pay yourself by the hour according to your skill level. When it comes to paying yourself, you can start paying yourself $10, $20, $25, $35, you know, but be mindful of how much you start off, because remember, you want to make money for your business and you want to see a profit. But if you charge $35 to $40 paying yourself, then you getting all of the money. Then what is your business getting? And let me say this. A lot of people think when the money comes in from an order, they think that's profit. It's not. That's your revenue. When you get money that comes in from an order, and say, Shavana, I hope I'm saying your name right. Say you did a vendor's event and you made $2,000 from that vendor's event. You got to pay your fees, but normally you pay it before time. And I'm gonna tell you where them fees will come out. You can include it into your product, but you can also, if you have money saved from your oh, okay, thanks. Save from your business, that can be used like, okay, I got to pay these fees, so I'm gonna pull this from my business or your profit, whatever you choose to do. That's totally up to you. And I'm gonna tell y'all where that comes from. So you made $2,000, right? That's not a profit. That's the money that your business brought in. That's your revenue. From your revenue, you should divide down how much your business is going to get, how much you see as a profit, and how you're paying yourself. Does that make sense? Do anybody do that? And if you don't, I'm going to break it down for you and tell you how you can put money up for your business, and to make profit and to pay yourself. That is one. No, you haven't. So I'm going to teach you how to do it and then it should click. All right? All right. So here we go. So you said, see, I learned that part after I took your class. Yep. It makes sense, don't it? She took my class, so she already know this portion of it. All right. So Shavana, you had made $2,000, right? I go based off of 100%. I take 100%. I go by my business when it comes to putting up my money or seeing what I made as a business. I take 100% and I break that down in my business. 100%. 50% is going to go to your business. Okay? We're talking about just $2,000, right? You made $2,000 at your event. 50% of that should go up for your business. Store that away. Pew. Little marker right here. 50%. 30% should go towards profit. That 30% of the 2000. So you got 50% of the 2000, and then 30% of the 2000 goes up for profit. That is saved and put away for anything that you have upcoming and you want to do. So say you want to do another vendor's event, but you got fees, but which you can either take it out of your business, the money you save for your business, because the money you save for your business, it covers your overhead, taxes, supplies, anything that you need for your business to run. That 50%, that money is for to keep your business running. All right. Then the 20% of the 2000 is what you pay yourself. Okay. And I talk about this all in my book, and it's so broke down to where you will see. But right now I'm doing overall so that you can understand how this percentage system works. So the 50%, the you can put 75%. If you want to put 75% more into your business so that you can keep it running, you can. And then you can put, you know, the rest, you can divide that into your profit or to pay yourself. Or sometimes if you're starting out and you know you can't pay yourself right now and you want your business to make money, you don't have to pay yourself right then and there, but you want your business to grow, then you can put 50% into your business and 50% can go into profit. Or you can do 60% into your business because this is the portion that's going to keep your business running. And then you can do 40%. 60, yeah, 40% into profit. That's money that you're saving until, say, you wanted to open up a food truck. Well, you're saving 40% of your profit to help grow or go to the next level in your business. And all of this comes with discipline. Not spending every time you get it. You have to really save your money to see where you're going. If you don't, you're going to continue to spin your wheels. You're going to keep going into a cycle that you constantly keep seeing, and people on social media talking about this and that, this, that, and the other. Nah, what the really to really grow, you got to know your numbers. You got to know your business. You got to sit down and analyze what it takes for me to make this type of money. What do I need to do in the month? Okay. So to answer your question, Shavana, I hope you said where do you start? Start by pen and paper, writing down your menu, going over your menu, and each item that you have, starting with the cakes in the tin, if that's what you're selling, go write down that ingredient cost, what it costs you to buy those items to make that dessert, and come up with your price and see if you're pricing right. Okay, I wish y'all had the book so I could go over it with you. But let me go to a page that's going to help you out. Do that make sense before I go further? So we all know that the money that comes into your business, the money that you get from orders is not profit. That's revenue. Got it. See, a lot of people be asking for this and they feel I'm so passionate about teaching this because it really helps people in business. I see a lot of people like, I made money this week. I made $2,500. Mm-hmm. You might. But when you say, well, I made $2,500 this weekend, but I don't see a profit. Okay. So what do you do in your business? My question is always, well, what do you do in your business? How do you do your paperwork? How is your business structured when it comes to, breaking down your money? And I always get a response, well, I can't break it down because I got to put it towards supply. So that lets me know, okay, you don't have a system on where your money go or what you're saving towards. They take all of it and just buy more supplies when you just take a portion and buy certain supplies. So you have to have some structure in order to grow. And this is where if you don't have that structure, everything gets out of hand because it's like, "Oh, well, I'm making money, but I don't see it." She said, I just messaged on Facebook. I need I think this info and every part of my finances. Exactly. That it works. Um, Maddie said, that's me with Miss Rowe. What? Um, Bringing in the money and then putting it on everything else. And then another thing in business, when you have a small business and this is your thing you do 100%, you got to be proactive. So, say for instance, you only getting a little bit of orders, which I get this a lot. Well, I'm not getting them many orders. Okay, that means you need to go to work. If your goal is to make 3,500 in a month, each month, then you got to get out there and put in the work. You got to market yourself every single day, whether it's on social media or getting out there doing pop-up shops, doing events. You have to source out where your items are going to be sold. If you go to the market every week, if you have a market that sells the different vendors go there and sell their product, that's something that you have to do, but you have to prepare yourself because it's work. And I say all the time, entrepreneurs work harder than a person that works 9 to 5. You're putting in so much, but this is what you want. And it gets easier, but you have to put in the labor. You got to put it in order to see some residual. Y'all following? Y'all get what I'm saying? It's people can come on here and say, "Oh, I got this," but if you notice lately, people get on there and talk about how much money they done made, and then late years on down the line, you see them they in bankruptcy. You see what I'm saying? Mm-mm. A lot of people have asked me, "Oh, Ro, why you ain't got your shop?" I've been wanting my shop, but the way I save my money is is by this system. If my business amount is not financially there for me to get certain, now I got property, but it's investment property that's going to generate money for me every time. But if I didn't have that and I went solely on every order that came in and I'm spending it all, I wouldn't have it. You see what I'm saying? So everything that I do is strategically planned. All right. So the thing about it is that what you put up for your business and what you put up for profit. So if I have 100K at the end of the year in profit, now I'm gonna sit down and say, okay, what I want to do next year. I got 100K. I can open up me a shop. Then I have extra bills. Then I have to plan out how I'm gonna make this money to not just match the 100K, to make over 100K. You got to have a goal. You got to have something set to work towards. That's business. If you don't have nothing to work towards and you just out here making sales, then how are you in business? You're in business because you see everybody else in business and people, I made 100 and some K. I made 100 some. It's easy to say you made this money, but what are you doing with it? How is it value to you? What value is it to you? Where do you see yourself, going in the future? Right? Linda said, I just sent out a link to purchase the book to 4 people. Okay, y'all better, you get it. So the thing about it is, when it comes to saving your money, you have to be disciplined. But like I said, I lived off of my profit because I had a stroke. I lived off my profit because I had it saved. I had to save. I didn't do no YouTube videos. I had still some income coming in off my um I'm a ambassador for 27 different companies, but those checks don't come in every month. They come in every 3 months. Okay. And they ain't been big because I hadn't been doing anything. So can't count on that. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Facebook wasn't paying nothing because I wasn't posting anything. It wasn't like how it used to be because now you got to really work for it. Right. So I wasn't putting up content. So if you solely rely on Facebook, you're stuck if you ain't putting that money aside. Okay? Same for YouTube. YouTube can generate. I still was getting YouTube money, but it wasn't the money that I was used to getting. So just because people are on Facebook and they may have 1 million followers, don't necessarily mean they getting big dollars. That money could be it triples down, and so many people have watched my videos, right? They take from it and they make their own platform and build from that, and they building, you know? So the thing is, what are you doing outside of all these other things? Because it can be here today and gone tomorrow. So that's where you have to have a system in place. Save. And you just got to put in the work and will be willing to put in the work. Somebody said, all my messages are saying can't send on Facebook. Is anyone else having these issues? Mm, Linda says she got 4 people that sent to her. So if you go on Facebook and you see Your Sweet Connection, you're going to see my logo. You should see my logo. Hello. All right. So y'all following me before I move on to the next? Do you have any questions before I move on? Yep. So even if you buy in bulk, Matt, I'm saying Maddie, girl. I've been calling you Maddie, and is it Maddie or is it Maddie's Oliver? But even if you buy in bulk, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna do the same calculation, same thing, because it don't matter if you buy in bulk. Whatever that one item is you bought in bulk. Say if it's bags, how many bags you use? Let's say apples. How many bags you use out of that or out of that bulk for your apples? So you did 12 apples. You used 12 bags. Remember, you're going according to how many bags you use out of that bulk to come up with um your cost for that particular bag. Matisse. There you go. Okay. I'm saying Maddie. Hey Maddie. All right. Any questions? I'm gonna turn it around and do some more breakdown for you. Are y'all liking this? This was supposed to be a private session. This wasn't supposed to be for everybody. And no, I'm not gonna say the video. So the people that's in here is in here. My book is copyrighted, but I'm. Oh, I'm not the first. Okay. So any of you have any questions? Savannah, anyone? There's still more a lot to learn, but I said Maddie is taking notes. All right. Stacy is still in the system. I see you, Stacy. Stacy, don't print this off yet because I'm not done. Somebody done paid for a book. Trust me, the amount of information in this book is way more than what I'm charging. Okay? Y'all ready? Okay, no questions? Thank you. Oh, so when you open it up, don't print it yet because I say print it at the end of June so that I finish updating the pages. That's what I'm doing. I'm updating the pages because this is something that I just wanted to get out to people in my class and the people that's in the academy. So, all right. So let's keep going. I'm looking. I know you're not done. It really is the information. She Stacy said it really is. Oh, Stacy, I'm not trying to tell you to get out of there either. I just, like when people are in there looking because I want them to see, what I put together for everybody. All right. So Stacy said, I'm looking. I know you're not done. It really is the information in this book is educational. Thank you. That's what it's meant to be, educational. Um you even have, I'm gonna turn this around. Like these are the examples. So even though I broke all of this down, when I say I broke it down, I broke it down. You may have a question up here in this area, but when you get down to the bottom, it's gonna tell you why. It's gonna tell you how to calculate your costs, the ingredient costs, packaging costs, labor costs. All right. Um, and this example is like the ingredients. So 4 cups divided by 40 cups equals 10 cent. You're going to multiply 10 cent. 10 cent times 450 equals 45 cent. So I just broke it down the same way with the butter. And this will help with any ingredients that you may have. You got to go according to the system. It's the simple formula. Okay. Sorry. Simple formula. That's it. The formula is based, which is up here, which is based on the amount used, and you divide it by the total amount packaged, and then you get your cost. So you're calculating the amount used, not the amount purchased. I'm gonna do like the people, they say, put that in the chat. You are calculating the amount used, not the amount purchased. Because I know people will, that's why I did this sheet first. That's why I had to come and do the book, because I just put the information in there because I know a lot of people are not used to this and don't be and not comfortable. So I had to create this book in a way that made sense to a beginner. Because if I put this in here, which I did, they're gonna be like, well, how do I come up with this? Instead of me giving you a bunch of word, you got picture form. So therefore, you know that it comes from the ingredients. And it's not from the amount purchased, it's from the amount that is being used. And that is the recipe that I mentioned. So from that recipe. And then the questions may come up. Well, how do I get that amount from the recipe? What do I do? Divide it. Okay. Oh, what page I'm on? Page 22 right now. Page 22. See how I know when people come on in here? Let's see who in here. Is that you? That's a platypus. Oh. Um, that might be somebody else. I'm not sure, but is that you, Savannah? I'm on page 22. Tina Golden just bought the book. I'm on page 22 right here. You got it? Shanice said, yes, loving it. Thank you. All right. So, you there, Shavana? I'm going to move on. Okay. Hopefully she got it. Okay. She logged it in now. All right. So, I'm going to be on 22 and 23. How to calculate the cost. I think you just came in here. All right. So, we have calculating it all together. And I'm gonna tell you why these steps matter. Don't you know why this matters? Why these steps matters? Now you know how, when you get comfortable, you know how to calculate the cost of each ingredient based on the amount used. The next step is just to add it all together, which is going to give you the total amount of the ingredient cost. And that's what I have that you see right here. But remember, this is an example. And then on the other side, I break down to give you the ingredient costs, which break it down the math of the numbers, which is how you came up with your numbers, which you're going to learn from page 22. Okay? And each example. So, say the cream cheese, for example. If you purchase an 8-ounce block of cream cheese and the cost equal $1.60. All right. You're going to, how you get the $1.60 is you divide 8 by 8, which equals one block. 1 times 160 is 160. Okay? If you need to use that whole block of cream cheese. All right? Let's go to the milk. For example, you knew in the recipe, in my cinnamon roll recipe, even though you bought the gallon of milk, and I think I had the gallon, which I came with, this price was $3.80. I only need to use 1 cup. Okay. How many? I mean, how many? I need to use 1 cup, right? So I divide that by 16, which equals 6 cents. So 6 multiplied by the amount, which is $3.80, is going to equals out to be 24 cents. Okay? And the same for the eggs. If I buy a dozen eggs, which that's 12 eggs, and the eggs cost $3.60, I only need to use 2. So 2 eggs divided by the 12, which is the dozen, equals to be 16. I'm going to take 16 and divide that by the amount I paid for the eggs. $3.60, which equals 58 cents. That's my cost. My egg cost is 58 cents. My milk cost is 24 cents. My cream cheese was $1.60. Okay? And that's how you total out your list. Um, can someone post the link to the book here? So the book is not on my website. So if you look down at the bottom of the video, you will see where it says Facebook page. So you have to go to my Facebook page. Do you have a Facebook account? Because that may be another reason why you can't pull it up. It's not on my website right now. Okay, you have a Facebook account. This is my Facebook. You should see this symbol here. Your sweet connection. When you go on my page, you should be able, over here on this side somewhere, it's going to say message. It's not going to show it to me because this is going to show me my professional page. And you're going to send a message. Can I switch and just look it up that way? Now, this is my personal page. There we go. So when you go to my page, this is how it should look. Over here is going to say message. You're going to click that and send a message. And then that's how you're going to send your message to the page and inquire about the book. Do you have Messenger? I don't understand why it's okay. So go to my website and send me an email. Yeah, go to my website and just send me an email or go to contacts. That's my website. Just go to my website and go down to the bottom and click contact us. Oh. If you don't go to the bottom, better yet, go to the top and go to contact. Click on contact and just put in your name and go do it that way. Contact is at the top. Okay. So I will have to send you the link. So just because Linda is working the business page right now. So this is only for the person that couldn't get to the business page. But everybody else, make sure you go to the business page. This keeps track of all the messages. So just go to my website and send me a message and I'll send it to you from there. All right. All right. And you can see it's nothing on there. I took everything off. All right. Take this off. Mm. Where was that at? There we go. All right. Oh, Linda said she just sent. Okay, thanks, Linda. She said she just sent you the link. All right. All right. So, like I said, over the next couple of pages, it shows you the breakdown. It even shows you the breakdown of packaging. If you do the packaging, say you have cinnamon roll box, and it was a pack of 25. The total in pack is 25 boxes. The cost of that pack was $37.50. So $37.50 divided by 25 equals $1.50. That is what it costs for one box. So you do that for the stickers, roll of 100 stickers. You got 100 stickers. The cost of those was $20. 20 divided by 100 equals 20 cents for one sticker. And you do the same for the rest of the items that is going to be on that particular product, whether it's cinnamon rolls, cupcakes, the cake tins, whatever it is. You total that and you come up with your cost of $2.96. Remember, this is an example. All right. That is the total amount that it costs to package a cinnamon roll. This is the example, y'all. All right. So then you're going to come down to your labor costs, breaking down your labor costs. Your labor costs, say it took me 2 hours to make this. And again, as I mentioned, your hourly rate is what you charge for yourself and your labor. But your labor and paying yourself is two different things. Remember that. Yes, you're doing the labor, but say for instance, you're trying to do your paperwork and somebody is in there working for you. You're paying them to do the labor. $20 an hour. So if it took 2 hours to make the cinnamon rolls, two and your labor costs for 1 dozen, you're making 12, 1 dozen of cinnamon rolls equals $40 for 2 hours. So that's 2 hours times 20 is $40. And again, how you determine your rate, it can be $10. It can be $15. It can be $20 an hour, 25 or whatever value you feel your time is worth. But remember, if you don't want to pay yourself right now as you grow in your business, it's okay. It's okay. All right? So, however long it just it takes you, but don't be in there so long, be like, well, shoot, I'm gonna be in a couple of more hours longer so I can make a little bit more money. No, they gonna move. If it take you to make something that long, they gonna move on to somebody else. So, don't get into the habit of where you gonna feel like you gonna try to outbeat them for for their money. Like I'm gonna just take a longer amount of time. No. What's the best place to purchase supplies like packaging? It depends on the type of packaging you're looking for, but I would recommend like Uline. I have several vendors. Um, Uline, clearbags.com, brpboxshop.com. That's brpboxshop.com. Um, Oh, it's a lot of places. It's just what type of packaging are you looking for? You can check out those vendors, um, like clearbags.com. There's, you can get stuff off of Amazon for right now until you want to, do something different. But you can definitely buy it in bulk and wholesales, but definitely look up Uline is a big supplier. You'll get your stuff in a couple of days. And again, try clearbags.com, brpboxshop.com. and it's several more I have. Yep, if you've been doing Amazon and you feel like it's other vendors that come in bigger bulk that will help you as well, but um Amazon has some good bulk products as well too. Um so okay, let's go on to let me go to and in the book I talk about, you know, your time is valuable, but work smart, not longer. All right. Know your time. Prep. When you go in the kitchen and you prepping, you working. Okay. But efficiency and profitability is the goal. Okay. It's not to work longer, but the goal is to work smarter. Remember that. And make sure you price with confidence. When you price with confidence, you'll know the value of what you're selling. Okay. And not trying to guess what it is that you're doing, or if you're making enough, or I don't know if I'm gonna make a profit. Not to be difficult, but far as labor for cinnamon rolls, as they need to rise. What's a legitimate cutoff time? um a legitimate cutoff time. Oop, hold on. Yeah, that makes totally sense because your cinnamon rolls got a proof, right? So while your cinnamon rolls is proofing, you got downtime. So you got an hour. So as soon as you set them down to proof, then you off the clock. I would consider to be off the clock. Okay, because once you go back in there and do the physical work, start your clock back up. But remember that this is just an example because it don't take 2 hours to make no cinnamon rolls. It could probably take four, but it ain't gonna take 2 hours to make some cinnamon rolls. Not a dozen of cinnamon rolls, okay? Because I can make up the dough quick and then let it sit to proof. Because it takes about an hour and a half or 2 hours to proof the cinnamon rolls. Right? You done went in there and you done made up the mix, and while you're doing that, you can still make up your filling, your toppings. You can do all of that while it's still proofing and be done within 2 hours, right? But while it's proofing, then you just gotta time yourself. But while it's proofing, you got downtime. So you sitting down for 2 hours, or if you're working on something else, and then each item you just so here's the thing. Don't run your hours on all of the stuff that you're doing, and like chop it up. It's whatever you working on. If you working on several orders, your clock is ticking. So if you get up and you making different desserts for that day, okay, your time start. So if you charging yourself $25 an hour and you working on several different orders, that's your time, that's your labor cost. That's your labor cost for each item. That's what you're charging yourself. And you calculate that according to that particular product. That can be cake, that can be cupcakes, that can be apples. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense? That's a great question though. Where can you purchase signature package from? You can purchase anywhere. But aren't you in the academy? It's in the academy. You can go you I know some people may say it's high, but Vistaprint does a good job. But there are several companies that you can do branding, customize your packaging, or you can purchase you can go to, order from China, go to Alibaba and find a vendor, get a get a sample first though, and have them customize your packaging. Because in the United States, in the States, it's more expensive, but you ain't gotta wait so long to get your stuff, but it's coming. It's just a process of getting it. And just depends on what you're ordering. All right. Um, Matisse, did I Miss Maddie? Did I answer your question as far as the labor? Because technically you would still be on the clock. Because if you was in the shop, you would still be on the clock. But if you doing the prep work, because you can prep them rolls and let them sit, next day you come in and you get the bacon in the morning. So you gotta figure out that time. But if I'm at home, I'm doing cinnamon rolls, my clock is off, and then I'm gonna go back in the kitchen. Because technically you are still on the clock if you was in the shop. Because you gotta wait for them to proof. If that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so Sunita, I'm gonna tag you to a few of the companies to do customized packaging. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse my yarn. All right. Any questions before I move on? Shavana, are you enjoying is you in the book? Nope, but Stacy is. All right. So let's go to 36. I talk about before you set your selling price, know your numbers. Okay. Over the years, I've seen so many bakers, treat makers struggle with pricing their products. One of the biggest mistakes people make is setting prices based on what someone else charges. A lot of people do that. What they think customers will pay. Okay? I know you know, you can't base your products on somebody else's feelings just to get a sale. Stop that. You are a business. It costs you to run a business, and you have to think that. You have to have that mindset. It costs you to run a business. You're not in business to make a sale. You're in business to grow, to make money, to make profit. Let's say that. Because anybody can make a little money. You in business to make a profit and to see that profit. Okay? That's what I tell myself. I'm not in this business to make money. I'm in this business to make a profit, to build, to grow, and see where I can go, take myself to the next level. That's it. Anybody can get out here and make a little change if you put your mind to it. All right? So you can't go based off of what somebody else charged because they may not be charging at a rate or they may be overcharging. This is where you determine where you can scale. And I'm finna go to this page right now. We're gonna talk about it. Um, as far as setting your selling price. When it comes to setting your selling price, you're gonna start with your costs, right? Did I move this page wrong? Trying to see if I got a page out of place. Oh wait. Oh shoot. Oh yeah, I skipped. Here we go. How to price your cinnamon rolls. All right. This is where you're gonna get started here when it comes to pricing. So pricing your products correctly, it separates you from being a hobby. And even if you got a hobby and you trying to cover your costs, I still say it's not a hobby at this point, because you're charging for it. You're making some some type of income. You're making something on the side, and people that do it just to have a second income, is nothing wrong with that. You're just going to do it at a lower level. And when I mean a lower level, that means it's not going to be big. It's not going to be extensive. That means you do 5 orders. Okay. You can do 5 orders to make the amount that you need um to subsidize, to bring in extra income. All right. Um So when it comes to knowing your costs, we talked about the ingredients. So this is where you determine your price. Okay. One more question. If a business restaurant wants to purchase from me for them to sell, do I give them a different lower price? Um, you that comes with wholesale. It's something where they have to buy at a certain rate, and then they set their price because they bought them from you. So I would have to do the numbers for that when it comes to doing a wholesale for the store. That is a great question, because some people will mark their product down so low just for a store to purchase. And you'll be the one losing if you come down too low, because remember, you're still making the product. Okay. And this should help when it comes to knowing that, because um at a rate, it will have to make sense, because you don't want to lose money. Someone wanted to purchase for their food truck. Okay, well, they can purchase multiple and sell them at their rate. Because if you go down in cost, you're going to lose as a small business. And I'm finna show you why. So I would definitely do the numbers with that. When it comes to wholesale, that will be a whole nother book that I write, doing wholesale costs, because it has to make sense. You can't lose as a small business. And I get it. People may want their stuff in certain places, but they have to, and what would it, and it'll be called a market price. So you'll be charging them a market price in order for them to sell in a store. So for example, if I'm gonna turn around so you can see me talk. So for example, if you see so say a corner store, like, yeah, you want to put them in my store, this, that, and the other, and you say, well, yeah, I'll sell it to you for $5, right? If you sell to him and he wants 50 of them, and you sell it to him for $5, you're losing if it costs you $4.67 to even make one cinnamon roll. Because what I'm getting ready to show you, for the people that selling cinnamon rolls for $5, and I know for a fact it costs you more to make one cinnamon roll, because ingredients is expensive, you're losing. So if you have vendors and you selling cinnamon rolls for $5, you're losing. And anybody that comes to me and say, "Oh, you don't know," oh, I do know, because I'm doing the math on it and it don't make sense. Well, we got to make some money somehow. Well, to if you're risking your business to sell something like that for $5, and you know it costs you a little bit more to make it, you're not making a profit. The only way you're making a profit is if you're including something else to cover to make up that cost, like a shirt, a spoon, or some other. But at the end of the day, you're still spending money to get even to purchase that to sell. So it all has to make sense. So if you sold to the store for $5 your cinnamon rolls, and the store sells them for $8 to $10, they making more money than what you're making. But because that's your item in the store, you may be feeling good about yourself. I got my items in the store. This is, and I'm not saying that you're going to do this, but this is what people do and think it's a good thing, and it's not. Because at the end of the day, you're not making money. That store is profiting off of you. Well, I'm gonna get this at $5. Get this at market price and sell in my store, and then I'm gonna just cost up and price up and sell it for $8 to $10. You following me? So sometimes it's not always good to do it that way when they can come to you. And I know that's like to get yourself out there, but if you can afford to do that, all right? So let me show you. So I'm on page 32, and we're going to discuss about the ingredients. So remember I mentioned that the ingredients, all the ingredients to make the cinnamon rolls is $12. That's how much it costs me to make the rolls. That's not how much it costs me to make the rolls. That's my ingredient cost. Now my packaging cost, it was $4. My time, $40. So you're going to add all of this together. $12 for the ingredients, $4 for the packaging, $40 for the labor. And that totals to be $56. That's how much it costs to make one batch of cinnamon rolls. That's 12 rolls, right? And remember, if you're just joining, this is just an example. It's just to show you how this system works. $56 divided by 12. Where's the 12 coming from, y'all? Let's see if y'all following. Where did 12 come from? Yep, dozen of rolls, 12 rolls. So it costs $56. Your ingredient cost? No, no, no. The 12 is the rolls. It costs $56 to make 12 rolls. The 12 is the number of rolls. We totaled up the ingredient costs. The ingredients, the packaging, and the labor is all included in this cost. The total cost to make one batch, make 12 rolls, is $56. We're going to take that $56 and divide it by 12. 12 is the cinnamon rolls that I'm making. And it's going to equal out to be $4.67. This is what cost me to make one cinnamon roll. So now, here we have $4.67. If it costs me $4.67 to make one cinnamon roll, if it costs me $4.67 to make one apple, if it costs me $4.67 to make one cupcake, I'm just using this as an example, y'all, because the price can be different when you total your ingredients. $4.67, the cost for one roll to make. Now I have room to scale my profit. This is where you add your profit. So if I know it costs me $4.67, nope, you don't round up. If it costs me to $4.67, now I can add my profit. What I'm going to charge to sell this cinnamon roll. So now I can price between $8 to $10 or $6 to $10. So, Shavana, when it comes to market pricing, when you see what it costs you to make an item, and if you want to go into market pricing, if it costs you $4.67 to make one roll, and I can scale from $8 to $10 to sell one roll, then I can go down to a market price of $6 to $7. That way, I'm still making some profit without losing or going past my costs that it makes me it takes me to make that item. Does that make sense, y'all? Because what you should never do is price backwards. You never price past what it costs you to make it. Okay? So we're at 467. So now I'm gonna choose my price for each cinnamon roll. Do I want to charge $8? Do I want to charge $9? Do I want to charge $10? I can even go up to $12 if I want to, if it's gourmet, right? So this is where you add your profit. Once you figure out the cost of each item first, right? So now we're going to go over to the final example. So say I want to charge $9 for one classic cinnamon roll. 9 divided by 467. $9 is the price that I want to price for my cinnamon roll. 467 is what it costs me. So you're going to subtract, you're going to subtract 467 from the $9, and it's going to give you your profit. $4.33 is what you made off of one cinnamon roll. So if you charge $5 for one cinnamon roll, how is you making a profit? Y'all got your paper? If you charging $5 for one cinnamon roll, how much money did you just make? Okay. You're not. You're making pennies. Mm-hmm. Right? But if you charge $9 and you subtract the 467, exactly, 33 cents. So 33 times 12 is what? Because say that's a dozen. So 33 times 12, because that's $4.33 profit. But if you was charging $5 for a cinnamon roll and it cost you $4.67 to make one roll, you only profiting 33 cents. So times that by 12. That's 12 rolls. 33 times 12 equals what? $3.96 that you made off of a dozen rolls. Now y'all see how this all making sense? Well, but wait a minute. That's your profit. And you didn't included your labor costs. You didn't included the packaging. You didn't included all of this stuff that's important first, right? This is just the start of it. Now, when it comes to making up your price, you can include the tax, but we all know once we're a small business, so you will want to, unless you do a tax, that's a whole nother ball game. I'm not even going. I can't go that far with y'all yet. Okay, that's another book, but we're gonna. You can include your taxes, or it depends on how you paying them. And if you're paying them, because you should be. Exactly. You will go in a hole if you don't charge enough. So now, we're at, y'all enjoying this class so far? For those, some people just came back in here. Y'all see why I don't like to discuss pricing on social media? Because it's more than just saying, well, yeah, you should charge this, or yeah, you should charge that. But you got to know your market. So if you don't take my class, you don't know. I'm gonna teach you what you need to know. I'm not just gonna tell you. It's just the person have to be willing to learn. Tina said 396, not even a gallon of gas to go re-up. Okay, but here's the thing, Tina. This, you already got stuff that's included, but no, that's not enough at all. Another way I mess up is buying so many products. Any startup ways to get funds for supplies. I need to be in your class. This is amazing. Yes, but it has to startup funding. It's places you can get startup funding, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go into something. Let's stick to this first, because I give out a lot of valuable information, and I didn't help thousands of people, millions of people, especially if I'm doing it on YouTube. Um, but so we done got that calculated, right? So now let me turn it around to you. So now you're gonna take, so with $9, you subtract 467. In the book, I should have took this the divide out because you're subtracting. So 467 equals, when you subtract from $9, your profit is $4.33. $4.33 is what you make. Now, Tina. So Tina, 396 is not your final profit. You have to multiply that profit by 12. Because remember, this is for one cinnamon roll. 433 times 12, even 396 is just too, is not, is you, I'm not charging $5 for no cinnamon roll. It don't make up the cost right. I'm not saying it don't make up the cost right. I said that wrong. It just is not profitable. All right? For what the ingredients cost. All right? So, 433, $4.33 is what I made off of one roll. That's what I profit. So you're going to multiply that by 12. 12 rolls. That's 1 dozen. 4 times 3 equals $51.96. That's what you profit off of that order. So off of that one order, you made $51.96. That's what you made off the order. So if you now multiply $9 times 12, this is where people mess up at. $9 times 12. $9 is the cost of your cinnamon roll. Multiply that by 12. How much is that? I'm trying to get my little worksheet out. $108. So say you were selling your cinnamon rolls. Somebody, you at a vendor's event, and you're selling $9 cinnamon rolls. Like, oh, how much are your cinnamon rolls? $9. Or you saying your gourmet cinnamon rolls with the toppings, oh, these are 12. 10, you can go $10 to $12. You don't have to go up $12, but this is how you scale. You can scale up. You never scale past what it costs you to make it. Okay? So you made $108. How many people think that's your profit? This is where people mess up at. You made $108. Is that your profit? Absolutely. It's not your profit. That's your revenue. Good job. Good job. So your profit from $108 is going to be $51.96 because what you actually profit. This is what I say, what I mean to know your numbers. This is what it means to know your numbers. You know that you profiting $4.33. Multiply it by 12 is $51.96. So say you sold 3 dozen of cinnamon rolls. 51 Say you sold 3 dozen of cinnamon rolls this week. 51.96 times 3 is what? So in a week, your business profited $188. Just so y'all can get a feel of it. You got it? You understand? All right. I think y'all got somewhat. So I'm gonna move on down to paying yourself. Well, Ro, how do I pay myself? How I pay myself, Ro? Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. Understanding revenue is not profit. Understanding revenue is not profit. Revenue versus profit. Revenue is money that comes into your business. Profit is the money left after expenses have been paid. What seems scary? What's scary, girl? What's scary? What's scary? I'm finna have y'all do some work right now. Hold on. What's scary? What's scary? No, it's not scary. That's just work. That's business. I'm gonna put this over here because I'm finna give y'all get a piece of paper and a pen. No, it's not scary, but it's value. How do we sign up for the classes? Well, I call myself, if you purchase the book, I came on here to teach a private session, but I went in and didn't nobody show up. So it was only 2 people, and I'm like, I know it was a little more people that purchased the book, but all you had to do was just buy the book and I was going to teach you the class. So that's what I'm doing now. That's how much confidence I have in my book. So I'm trying to get, before I put it on my website, I'm giving people the opportunity to look for themselves to see. But when you read it, it's very beginner friendly, but some people will still may have questions about certain things. But it's all self-explanatory. But while I teach it, I want it to make sense and resonate with those readers and those that want to learn. The book is $28 right now and it's downloadable. So you would come to, at the bottom of the page, go to my Facebook. On the bottom of this page, you see this pinned where it say Linda Bozek. It says Facebook business page. Go to my Facebook business page and message the group. Message us, and Linda's going to send you the link to sign up. That's for the book. But if you want to learn, because I'm doing a workshop in the academy, you can join the academy, and the academy is $45, and you'll have access to everything else, especially what I'm teaching. And I go a little bit more in depth, and they have homework. And you're going to see the people that are participating. So you can do either or, you can do both. All right. I've been on here for 1 hour and 7 minutes and counting. And we still have 20 people in here. Thank you to the 20 people. All right, get your piece of paper out. I'm gonna give you an order. First off, let's talk about percentage. The percentage system that I love to use. It ain't something that somebody gave me. It's what I've learned based off business. 100%. If I'm making money, 100%. If money coming in, revenue coming in, that's 100%. That's something I just took in for my business. 100% of it is not mine, but 100% of it, I have to divide it so that I can see where my money is going and how I'm going to spend it. Make sense? So before I give you an order, we're going to talk about paying yourself. I think I passed. When is the workshop? The workshop is happening right now. I've already did 2 videos, 2 live videos of the workshop. It's not a pre-recorded session, it's a live session, but you can go back and watch the video because the video only stays up for 30 days, and that's only because of Facebook. But it's a interacting live workshop. So if you join now, you'll have the opportunity to watch the previous videos, but those that are participating have homework. And right now we're at where they had to do their menu, design their menu, and in the workshop I'm going through the whole book with them. So that's what the workshop is about. Breaking down, getting comfortable with pricing, how to price, going over their menu, helping them build their menu. But that is for those that are participating. They're posting the work in the group. In this last assignment, they had to figure out their ingredients, write out their ingredients from what item of on their menus already. They have to show me their work, and then they have to create a new menu with their new price after they figure out if they are in the right bracket or if they're in the right place at pricing or if they're underpricing. If they're underpricing, they got to they know how to scale to come up with the new pricing on their new menu, and they had to post it. But I'm always giving homework right after the session. Oh, I'm beginner friendly. I have always been beginner friendly. So if you're new to my page, welcome. But if you are a beginner and you want to know, it's information in the group that shows you how to build your business. I always leave footnotes. So it's what is no anybody that needs help in business or learning how to do treats and you're not in a workshop, you're missing out. I know it's a lot of people on here selling things and doing things, but a lot of times I'm not advertising my workshop but once a year. I mean my academy, but once a year. And those know that. But I share so much information, I don't see why nobody wouldn't want to learn or receive it. You say you be there on Tuesday. All right. We look forward to having you. Um You said the issue I have is when do I start? I need to overcome my fears and just do it. Yes, that's another thing I talk about in the book. Showing up. It's a section in there, it says showing up, because I took in what people that I have mentored or people that have shared with me through social media or in person. And just like you just said, when do I start? I got to get over my fears. And a lot of people I know have fear. Either it's the fear of just starting a business or doing it, but you got to ask yourself, are you ready for it? Do you really want to get into it? What is the reason that you want to get into business? What is the reason? Do you have something that you want to offer where there's a need in your area that you feel people will enjoy and buy it? So, and you want to capitalize off of it, then go for it. But don't go for it because everybody else is doing it. Or you see, because social media right now today is all cap to me. It's a lot of cap. It's a lot of people that see like, oh, they got opportunities where they feel like, oh, I can sell this, I can sell this, I can sell this, I can sell that. People gonna buy it if I put it like this, put it like that. No, I hate that it's like that right now, but that's the state we in. Oh, for real. I'm serious. That's what it is. That's what it is. And I ain't finna get up there and be talking about all this. It's anyway. I'm not trying to knock anybody or what they doing, but it's a lot of it, and that's all you see. That's all you see. And a lot of people that has been in my class have been talking about, I took this class and this person say she got an academy, but it's only one video in there. And when you ask questions, we can't ask questions. We gotta, you know, that's not an academy. Academy, I feel, in my opinion, because everybody have a different way of teaching. You're there to learn. Okay. In the academy, you're going to learn a lot of different things. I offer a lot of different things. I bring in people to teach. This year, we've been extremely busy. So especially with I'm on tour, but um, I feel academy, you should come in there to learn. And some people just come in there just to get recipes. But you're gonna get that and be educated all at the same time, and able to get your questions answered when we're available. But um you're gonna see a lot of people that feel like, oh, if you have if you have, how can I put this? People feel like because they have something to offer, or no, let me say this. When somebody go viral, they build off that viral moment and feel like, yep, I'm gonna capitalize off of this, which is a good thing. But some people capitalize off of it for the wrong reasons and feel like, well, yeah, but what do you really have to offer? Because if you're not really teaching me anything, and I see a lot of people teaching stuff because you got an audience, You're just going to tell them anything instead of you doing the research or knowing what you're really talking about. But because it looks good and sound good, they selling you the doo-doo sign with the B in front of it. I done seen it in too many people. And I'm like, that's not how that go. That's not how that go either. But people falling for it because they constantly on social media doing videos and feel like, oh, well, shoot, they did it, they did it. And it only take a few people to say, oh, I love it. And then they all in. That's what's going on to this day. I'm seasoned. I've been in here in this game for over 20 years now. And when I see bull, I see bull. The Academy is on Facebook. And just like you went to purchase the book, if you want to join the Academy, you just send a message and Linda or I will send you the link. Right. But so what I'm saying is, do your homework, do your research. That's it. That's all it is. Once my book get on my website, I'm gonna market the heck out of my book because this was built off of those that inquired. So everybody that had a question about something is in here. It's broke down. For the many years that I talked about, I don't like to talk about pricing on social media. I answer your question, but it's more that. So when I get to talking about numbers, some people will be like, well, I feel like it's a better way. Okay, well, tell me, what's the better way? What's the better way of not knowing what it costs you to make a certain product or to package a certain product or to even build and do an event? Whether you're doing a marketing event, whether you're doing a vendor event, a pop-up shop, pop-up and vendor is about the same thing. So you want to know how much it's going to cost you instead of going out to a vendor's event and just making up a bunch of product and you got product left over. Why not sit down, do the numbers, right? Find out how many people is going to be at this vendor, this event. Are they a popular source? You see what I'm saying? You want to know how many people is going to visit this event because that's going to be based off of how much money you can potentially make. It's all potential. You may sell out, you may not sell out. But you want to go and have enough. But if you sell out, that's a good thing, especially if you're there for the weekend or if you got the one day, that's good. Then that's when you do your inventory and find out if I need to go back, then I know I did, I'm going to come back with the same numbers. Okay? Do it make sense? I always love to hear your feedback, see your feedback. It has to make sense. So if you go out to a vendor event, you got 200 of this cinnamon rolls, you got 200 of cupcakes, you got 200. Did you need 200? Because this may not be a big event. If the event got a visitation of 1,000 people, you got to know what you're going to sell, how you're going to sell it, how your setup is going to be. 500, if it's 500 people visit, you probably get 100 at your table. I look at stuff like that because I've done it. It's like, oh, well, shoot, I think I brought too much. You see what I'm saying? So if you're looking to make, for me, if I'm doing a vendor's event, I have to at least make $2,500. If I meet my goal of $2,500, so that lets me know the type of vending events that I'm going to take on. That means they got to be big ones. Okay? And that's because if I'm out there or if I want to get out there, you know what I'm saying? So If you know it's a small event, you're gonna say, well, you need to know how many people is gonna be in attendance. That's the most important. So if you have the opportunity to do big events and you go out there and it's a lot of traffic, set a goal to what you want to make from each event once you get comfortable with doing markets and vendors. Right. Go hard or go home. Exactly. So I know my goal. If I'm gonna go set up, I'm telling you the setup is crazy. You gotta set up and then break down. And then you standing out there for hours. So the breakdown, I mean, all of it is work. So I don't want to scare you away from it, but it don't matter. All of it is work. Entrepreneurship is a lot of work. All right. You got to get in there. You got to make the product, package the product, store it, get up early, do your setup, look presentable, set up the table. You may have to hire someone to work for that day, or if it's just you, especially with big events. If I'm doing just cinnamon rolls with 5 different flavors, okay, I'm looking to make 2,500 from this event. And sometimes you pay a fee before, or sometimes you pay a fee after. So if I got money in my business and my fee is $200 or my fee is 150, okay, and you got to pay that up front. Let me go ahead and go into my business, into the business portion of my, the savings, the business savings. I'm gonna go ahead and take out this 150 because you ain't gonna take it out of your profit. You should have money in your business where you can just take and pay for that fee. All right. So therefore, my goal is to make $2,500. I'm also covering the fee to go back into my account, my savings, and then I'm gonna make a profit. I'm gonna separate it for profit. But that's what we finna get into. Sorry, I turn the light on. That's what we're getting ready to get into, and then we're gonna end it. Um, so I'm looking to make $2,500 if I'm doing any event. But if you're just starting out doing church events and you want to get people to know you in the community, it's nothing wrong with setting up, um, doing different outreach events, church events, but you need to know how many people come out to these events. Okay? If you want to start off small, it's okay to start off small. But once you have done it so much, you looking for the big dogs. I'm going for the big dogs now. I got to set up, I got my tent. So you got to build up to that. I'm not saying jump off the ship and go ahead and start with big events because it could overwhelm you because you don't know what you're walking into. So get comfortable with doing, there is, I'm sure it's small pop-up events. Would I give out a free product to get your name out there? I would. I have done it many a times and it has grown my business. Yes. But it will be samples. It's not a free product, it's samples. Okay? Because it's still part of a cost. Everything is numbers. It's still part of a cost. So therefore, if I'm going to give out a sample, this is what I would do at my events. And I have done because my daughter used to do it. She even did it at her school. Um, I will have the little 2-inch cups. All right. It can be popcorn. You can do popcorn in little 4 cups or this, that, and other. And you walk around with a tray. It can be branded and you speaking to, hey, how are you? You want to come? Hi, my name is Brianna. And my mom has a table, wherever the place is. My mom's booth is 78. If you like to come over and visit us, you want to try a sample and come check us out over at Your Sweet Connection. They take a sample and be like, oh, this is good. And they come over there. But one sample per person. Some people will be like, let me get another one. Let me get another one. I'm sorry, but it's one sample per person. But you can have, if you like, you can go visit our table Always be polite. Always be inviting. I can't stand to walk up to someone's table and they doing this. I'm gonna walk right past you. Or I'm walking up to your table and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And you don't even greet me. That's the worst thing to do, especially if it's something I'm inquiring about or you got an attitude. An attitude don't sell. Don't sell. I don't want to buy nothing from you. Well, you see, especially and you get this a lot. Um, well, what is it that you have? Do you have anything outside of this? Well, you see our menu. That our menu is right there. And you there to make money and this is how you react? Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, well, thank you. Even if they don't buy, still have a smile on your face. Yeah, people are nasty, but you're trying to make money. This is your business. And please hire people that represents your business. The people you hire represents you. If they're nasty in your brand, ain't nobody they're gonna remember. Listen, they ain't gonna remember the stuff you sell. They're gonna remember that nasty person that they walked up to that table. No, don't go over there. We was out there out here last week. We ain't gonna child, they were so nasty. Am I right or wrong? Y'all know y'all done it. Mm-mm. Yeah, sitting down, don't talking, don't stand up. Where the menu is right there. It's like it's how you doing. You was so kind to come to my table. I'm trying to make money. You see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit on my tail wondering if you gonna buy or not. Cause this is what people think. Well, they ain't gonna buy anyway. It's just wasting my time. Nah, baby, you out there to work. my fee was $200, and you telling me you gonna sit here on your you absolutely not. I need you to stand behind. I need you to straighten up this table, greet the people, stand on the corner. How you doing? Welcome to your sweet connection. What can we get for you today? Huh? High energy. How you doing? Good. You have no, no, sir. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. When you remember your sweet connection, you're gonna remember the integrity of the staff. You're gonna remember how polite, how loving, is helpful. No, you cannot. That's something that they're gonna remember. And they got good product. Okay? And we're gonna give a little something extra. YSC. Come out to help. So thankful and grateful for them. Yes. Yes. First impressions is everything. You know what I'm saying? But them bad attitudes will tear your business down. Once somebody can be at another event and you at especially if you in a small community and they see you at different events, you done messed up. They ain't gonna come. Nope. No. I know. I've done it before. I didn't say it where I'm not. Oh no, I'm not going over there. I'm not going over there. No. Attention. All right, let's get into this right now. Y'all got your pen and paper? All right. Oh, so let me turn this way. Oh shoot, I still got to put it in front. Okay. All right, we already talked about revenue is not profit. If you got the book, hello, Ro. I love your. Thank you, Nettie. Nettie. All right, so We here. Now let's go. Let's talk about how we're going to divide this money up. How you paying yourself? All right. How you pay yourself as a business? As a business. All right. So revenue is not your money. I mean, revenue is the money that you come in. It's not your profit. All right. When it comes to making sales, making sales is great. But if you're not paying yourself, okay, uh, you don't really have a business. Sometimes you're not going to be able to pay yourself when you're starting off. But I believe in when you take in orders, break divided is a system I go by, and it's a percentage system where you divide so that you're getting something. And everything that you bring in don't need to be spent. Let's get that straight. Everything you bring in, it don't need to be spent unless you have to spend it. All right? So what does paying yourself mean? Can somebody tell me what y'all think paying yourself mean? What does paying yourself mean? Hello, Ro. I learned all about candy apples dipping from you. Thank you so much. You're welcome. We on here talking about how to price. What does paying yourself mean? To you? Somebody gonna say making money. Taking a wage. Yep. Taking a wage. Money that goes to you. Absolutely. Money you pay yourself after you make profit. Absolutely. Separate your business account. Yes, your profit from take home aside from all your costs. All right. Well, paying yourself, you've been reading Savannah? Shavana. Paying yourself means taking a portion of your business earnings. Okay, your business earnings is the revenue that comes into your business as a personal income. Now, when you set up a business account, you should have things separated. All right? You need to separate your money. And a lot of mistakes people make in many beginners, they spend all the money they make, or they put everything back into the business and pay themselves nothing. And for those that don't pay themselves nothing, that means you took that vow to not get no wage so that your business can grow, and then you take a wage. Now you can do that. That's what I mentioned earlier. You don't want to pay yourself right now, and you see you can't pay yourself right now. You want your business to have a cushion and you want your business to grow, and you take a vow to not pay yourself, that's fine. Give yourself a certain time frame, like, okay. But just know you got to put in the work to make the money for your business in order to pay yourself. All right? So, separating your money starts with, thinking like a business owner. You're in business. So your money has to go somewhere. Every dollar that comes into you, every order, whether it's a cake, cupcakes, celebration cakes, events, you can get paid $2,000 or $1,000 for an event. All that money shouldn't be spent up on the next thing that you want to do, like, oh well, I need to put money for this order, this, that, and other. And you spent unnecessary money that could have been put aside for profit. Okay? So because your business make money, it's not personal money. Okay? Separate accounts. When you create a bank account, business bank account, You can, and a lot of credit unions do this. What I do is do a spot one account for business, spot one for profit, and spot one to pay myself. And then I have another spot account for taxes. All right. And we're going to talk about, um, I talk about taxes in my academy. It's just this, that part is got to be taught so people understand. Because some people are not paying taxes. Even as a small business, you still have to pay taxes. All right. Um, and based off of how your business is structured. So remember we talked about how you pay yourself, whether it's $10, $20, $40, um, whichever how you pay yourself. All right. You can grow over time when it comes to those particular amounts. I believe in, as your business grows, then your price to pay yourself increases. All right. So don't get ridiculous into saying starting off like I'm gonna pay myself $35 an hour because I'm worth that and I need that. But if you're advanced and you're doing more and you know your value, then yes, price according to um your business or your skill. All right. So when it comes to the method here, okay, I do this percentage system where 100% does not go into my pocket. So you have a $200 order. That $200 order is not yours. That is the business. That's what the business brought in. That's what the business made. So 50% should go into your business. That 50% is your overhead. It covers the supplies, your ingredients, your packaging, your marketing, reinvesting in your business. Whatever it is, you that 50% pays the bills to keep your business running. That's what needs to be separated. Okay? Then 30% goes into profit. This is the money that is left over after your business expenses. Your business expenses, once again, could be your overhead, what it costs to pay for your rent, whatever. If you're doing it from home, that's your overhead. Your rent, your mortgage, your lights, your gas. That 50% is what should be your overhead. All that comes out of here, comes out of the business. You running your business from home, you got to pay your overhead, your lights, your gas, and all your supplies. It comes out of this 50%. 30% is saved for when you need it. Okay. Um, or if you go into another business adventure or something like that, but that profit should stay there so you will know that your business got money. And then 20% is paying yourself, which this is your personal income and this is you getting paid. All right? Y'all following me? Let's see. Y'all understand? Before we go into hush, Max Missy. Okay. So let's say we paying percentage. So this is where you need to write down a order. Say you made $250. Okay. $250. Let me turn this way. You had an order, $250. 50%, and we're gonna do the 100% system. So you had a $250 cinnamon roll order. That order, you're gonna break it down. This is where you take this order. This is how you break it down and set aside your money for your business. 50% of 250 is going to be $125. Remember, this goes towards your ingredients, packaging, supplies, reinvesting your overhead. That's the 50%. So $125 is going to go into your spot one account. Then your spot two account is profit. 30% of 250 is $75. This is for a business savings. Your business should have a savings, and that's your profit for your growth, your money growth. It's a cushion for your business. If there's an emergency, you can go to your profit because you got a cushion. So therefore, you go into here like, oh, my refrigerator done went out. Well, the business made money, so now I need to get me a new refrigerator. So I'm gonna go into my spot two account and see how much money I have to get me a refrigerator. Make sense? But the profit ain't always for you to go dip in because you want to go on a vacation, you want a new purse. No, no. Now, if I wanted to do a business trip, if I'm doing a business trip, okay, and I know the business done profit some money, and if I can take from here, if I'm able to take from here, I will take from here because I'm going on a business trip. But I don't want to take from my business money because my business have to run. This is what my business is running off of. The money that I'm making and saving here, putting up here. But if I can go into my profit and go on this business trip, um, yeah, here. And the business trip can be somebody is flying you out somewhere and they're paying you. They paying you to do this, okay, your business, and you can divide that up. But if you want to do a business trip and you're spending it, if your business is gonna pay for it, you take it out of your profit if you can do that. Okay. Then 20% is what you're gonna pay yourself. 20% of 250 is $50. And this is your money, your income, your reward, how you get paid. All right? Makes sense? So your business made $125. You gotta, I mean, your business. Oh shoot, sorry. Oh, Ryan, my dogs done came and unplugged my computer. I cannot with them. So your business, can you plug that back up? Mac, they done unplugged the computer. Sorry, y'all. So your business, yeah, they want it now. There you go. Thank you, son. I ain't never heard that before. Have that done that before? I don't know what's going on. Ryan, come here, please. I don't know what they did. Okay, sorry. Got y'all bouncing around. All right, so where we left off is, now for those that don't got the book, you really got to go get the book now. So your business took in, you put up 125, and then you put up $75 for your profit, and then $50 for yourself. That's the percentage system. All right. So say for instance, this is where the pen and paper come in. Say you had 5 orders in the month. Okay. You had a cake order for $250. You had an event you did and you made, I'm right, event. And you made $1,000 from the event. You had a candy apple order for $150 for $150. Let's say candy apple. All right. The fourth one you had a $500 cake pop order. Cake pop. And then the fifth one, y'all come up with one. Come up with one and I write it down. What's the fifth order? Hope they ain't messed up my computer. I got apples. 150 for apples. Pretzels. So say you had let's say baby shower order. Rice Group Street. Let's say a baby shower order. And your baby shower order was $800. Okay. So you're gonna make 3 sections. One is gonna be 50%. One is gonna be 30%, which is profit, and then 20% to pay yourself. For your cake order, 50% is gonna be 125. 30% is gonna be $75. 20% is going to be $50. 50% of 1,000 is going to be $500. That's the event. 30% of 1,000 is going to be what? $30% of 1,000 is going to be what? Let me total this. 300. And then 20% of 1,000 is going to be what? $100? I think it's $100. 20% of 1,000. No, $200. $200. All right. Then we're going to go to the apples, which is $150. 50% of that is $75. 30% of that is what? 30% of 150. Let me add this up. 45. 20% of 150 is what? Uh, 40, 30. All right, so we down to our cake pops. Cake pop order. It's $500 order. 50% of 500 is 250. 30% of 500 is what? And you do the same for 20% of 500. But first, 30% of 500 is what? 19. No, I'm deleting this live because it's supposed to have been a private video. I had a private class scheduled, but I had to go live. And it was for the people that bought the book. So, wait. Um, 30% of 5 is 3, 4. And 20% of 500 is $100. No. Yeah, that's right. 20% is $100. All right. Now we down to the baby shower. $800. Do the same thing. 50% of $800 is 400. 30% of 800 is what? %30 of 800 is 240. And then 20% of 800. 20% of 800. My back scratcher. 160. 160. So in total, it's $2,700, right? So for the month of June, you already made $2,700. How much went to your business? 50% of the 2,700. I know y'all could have did this just in the one price, but this is what I want you to get comfortable with. Every time an order comes in, divide it and put it up. Excuse me. Don't hold it. Just divide it and put it up. So 50% of that 2,700 is what? 30%. It's got 5. 1350. And you really can total. What's 810? 810 is the 30%. It should be the 30%. 30% totals to be 810. Yep. And then 20% totals to be 540. Is Shavana still on here? So she can see this is how you break down your numbers. So you made 2,700 for the month of June. Okay. You made 2,700 for the month of June. And all of it ain't gonna come in at one time. So that's why had y'all do individually. Had to break down in each individual order. So this is what I've done over the years when it comes to making money. I'm putting the money up. 50% of that revenue goes into the business. Is saved into the spot one account. 30%. Okay, so 1,350 is going up for the whole month. So no matter what time of the week or the month, whenever if you totaled for the whole month, you made $2,700 because all this ain't gonna come in one week. You see what I'm saying? But just giving you an idea of how it works and what it looks like and how you work it. So when you sit down at the end of the month and you want to calculate, or before the end of the month, and you calculate all your orders, right? Um, you're gonna calculate it and you're gonna put it up. So you'll know 50% went into my spot one account, 1,350. 30%, my profit for the business is $810. And 20%, $540 is for myself. That's my money. Okay? So here's where people get confused. Well, if I only profited $540 for myself, how am I going to pay my bills? Well, if you work from home, your bill should be covered under your 50% because that's your overhead. Remember, I said the 50% is going to take care of the business. That's what keeping the business running. The overhead, the ingredients, the supplies. So all that money should be put up. Make sense? Am I helping somebody? I hope so. Oh yeah, I will wait until then to pay. Yes, absolutely. That's how I work. And it all takes discipline. And I know with people starting out, they got to get used to that. And a lot of times we use our own money to fund our business, right? To even get the stuff started so that you can get to this system. Okay? When you get started and you fund your own business to do a couple of orders, put that money up. So that's why I say a lot of times you're not going to be able to pay yourself right offhand until you build some cushion for your business because you got to pay your bills, right? So sometimes you may hear people say, I've been in business for 5 years and I still ain't paid myself yet. Well, if you've been in business for 5 years, you should at least pay yourself something. Or you chose not to pay yourself in 5 years so that your business can have some cushion to cover the bills and to have a profit. So if I was your investor and you came to me and say, I'm looking for funding and I wanted to know if like to invest $10,000, right? So I'll go to Shavana and I say, Shavana, you came to me with this beautiful plan and I see that you got your numbers and stuff together, but what did you actually profit last year? And a lot of times people get stuck and be like, well, I don't know what I profit. And a lot of times people will bring up the money they brought in. Well, no, I don't want to know what you brought in. You see what I'm saying? So if you tell me, so let's do this. Multiply 2,700 times 3. 2,700 times 3. $8,100. So you made in 3 months $8,100. And Shavana, you said you told me, well, I made, and that's what you made each month, right? Well, the past 3 months I made $8,100. Okay. That's what you brought in. That's what your business brought in. That's what was your revenue for the last 3 months. And I said, well, Shavana, how much did you profit from your business? Can you tell me that number? 20%. I'm sorry, 30% of $8,100. If I say, well, Savannah, how much did you profit? Because remember, this profit is what you saving. This is your savings for your business. Okay? Which allows you to help with funding. 2430. So okay, you made 2430. You think that, and you feel like, oh, you need more money to get supplies, but you should have a proposal when you go to investors or you want someone to invest in your business and you're looking for funding. You need to write out everything that you need, what your business have done. If you can't tell me what you did in the first or second or third quarter, you need to learn what your quarters are. You need to learn what you've done in a year or what you've done in a previous year, because this determines how you're running your business, or if you know your business. Or to the investor, well, they want to make sure either they're going to get a return on their investment, or you're just looking for an angel investment where someone's just going to help you out to get you going. Okay? An angel investor is someone that don't want to be mentioned, and they're looking out for you. So there's different type of investors. An angel investor is just someone that is not going to be mentioned, and they're investing into your company because they see the value and where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do. But when you present something or ask of something, even going into a bank, they're going to want to know what you're doing in your business, how you're doing it in your business, and especially when you go get a loan. If your business have no type of history, you can be in business for years and tell me you made 50K. Oh, okay. Well, you made 50K. What did your business profit? I want to know your numbers. I want to know what you set aside for your business. How does that look? And how will our loan get paid back? What is your revenue each month? So this makes sense? Am I helping somebody out here? Because this is going to be the close of this session. This is the start of learning to price your product. All right. This is just the beginning. This is not nearly the half of it. You're welcome. Look at me with my little scratch paper for y'all. All right. So anybody have any questions? I know I ain't cover a lot of stuff. It wasn't intended for me to cover this whole book, but it was to help you understand how it works, how to incorporate a system for your business to be able to see the residuals of what it is that you're working so hard at. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now I guarantee you, if you mention this to anybody else, they may not have a clue. Everybody have a different system. But at the end of the day, it's all about it is it really is it circles back around to the percentage of what your business is putting away, putting up, setting aside. And when you're paying yourself, it should go to an owner's draw. That means that money is being took from your business and being paid to you. Okay? It has to go into an owner's draw. It has to be sent to you personally into an owner's draw. It shouldn't be where you're spending from the business account because, well, shoot, I got 20% in this business account. No. Take out that 20%, so $540. Take out that 20% and send it to your personal account. And in that notation, it should be owner's draw. Owner's draw. Okay? But in the academy, I will be talking about that because this is a class that's coming up next week to do the third part of the class. My head is hurting. I went 2 days with traveling and teaching. All right. Are we good? Thank y'all for those that yeah, I'm going to get some rest. Thank y'all for those that stayed here to want to learn and figure this out. Because there's a lot of people that's in this industry just want to be seen and want to feel popular or this, that, and the other. I get it. Everybody have an agenda, but at the end of the day, when it's business, it should be taken personally. You should have a high interest in your business, especially if this is your breadwinner. And a lot of people always say they want to leave their job to do this. Let me say this for the 17 people that's on here. I did this go for a sole partnership as well. Absolutely. 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 You a sole proprietor. Y'all come into a different tax bracket though, but as a sole proprietor, yes. And a lot of times people think because you're a sole proprietor, oh, you can't pay yourself. Listen, when you're or you can't pay yourself labor or whatever, you the person that's paying yourself and um paying for labor costs is two different things. As a sole proprietor, yes, you are the person of that business. But at the end of the day, how you put your money up is nothing to do with being a sole proprietor. You are putting money up for your business. The 50%, the 20%, the 30%, the 20%, it still goes in an owner's draw. Sole proprietor just separates you from your tax bracket. You really don't, and then it only limits you to do certain things depending on in your state. Okay, when you go over to a LLC, it just protects you. But if you're not doing that much as a sole proprietor, you stay in that bracket. If you feel like you're doing more, you're bringing in more money, and you need to be protected, you can transition into a LLC. Do your homework though. When you go into a LLC, you have to do more paperwork. You have to do more documentation. You have to do reports. You should have a corporate book, a corporate record book. A corporate record book records, you're supposed to have meetings for yourself. I don't care. Anybody in business should have meetings with yourself. Every month, at the end of the month, okay, it's time to do paperwork. Because by the end of the year, you can take all of them notes for each month and calculate them together. So when it comes tax times, you'll see what you've done in a year. You see what I'm saying? Or you do it every 6 months. You see what you've done in 6 months. And so for the next 6 months, you're preparing yourself on what you need to do and where you're trying to go. That's business. It's no way that you go and just, I'm a sell without having a direction to where your business is trying to go. If you're trying to get a food truck, then you need, and you know the numbers. You know what you need to do, right? Is that making sense to y'all? And what I was gonna say before I seen his question, um, was going to say at the end of the day, when people get on here and is talking about all of this AI stuff, and AI is just taking over. It can be a plus and a minus. AI does help in certain forms. Um, but at the end of the day, always document your work. Whether you type it, print it off. Keep a record of whatever it is that you're doing in your business. Because if the computer shut down, where do you have to go off of? And I've learned this many years ago. Okay. All right. Download it on the drive. But at the end of the day, keep a record book of your numbers. You LLC, you should have a corporate record book. You can find one on Amazon. It keeps, and I'll have to talk about that later so you understand. I don't want to go off. But it just keeps the record of your business. Um when you report for your LLC, it's simple notes like, yep, I had a meeting this day, it was these many members in here. You don't have to have members, but if you talk about certain things that you want to do in your business, you recording it. That's all it is. It ain't nothing hard. And I'll pick a day in the group to talk about, look, let's do which I've done in my business class before, but I'm gonna have to do it in the academy again and talk about the corporate record book. It's your corporate record book for your business. So you're welcome, Tanya. But what I was gonna say, you go and mention this to anybody else, they're gonna say, "Oh, I don't do this, or I don't do that, or I ain't got time to do that." How you doing business? Or they may not be doing it. People make money and just save it. I like to see where my money going. So I thank y'all for staying with me this long. Almost 2 hours. It's 2 hours. Yes, it is. I enjoyed y'all. Y'all better tell y'all better tell them about the now what I do want y'all to do is go onto my Facebook page, tag me, go to your sweet connection, and tell me how you enjoyed tonight's session. All right? Good night. Almost 3 hours? Ooh, yeah, it's going on 10 o'clock. See, when I get to teaching about business, just time just go. But I thank y'all. Thank you, Linda. You hate to see 4:30. I know, right? But I love y'all, and I'll see y'all soon.